I'm back. It's been a while and I hope you're doing good, because we do have a lot of tricky energy right now. I'm going to talk about the new moon in a moment. I wish I had good news about it, although it's in its exaltation in Taurus, where it works at its best. It's actually quite a dark new moon, because we have the fixed star of Algol, right, the conjunct right beside the moon, sun and moon in Taurus there, and that brings very dark energy. It's known as, this fixed star is known as the demon star, and it's also basically represents Medusa, and we all know Medusa. She turned men to stone. It's basically represents Medusa's severed head. So yes, that's really all I need to tell you about Algol, to tell you that it's not a good star to have in the mix. So that's, yeah, it's going to bring, it's basically a very shadow work time. And we just had Pluto go into Pluto went retrograde last week on the 5th of May. And that's going to bring everything inward now. Pluto is the planet of shadow, facing what's hidden, facing those uncomfortable truths. It's about death, rebirth. It's trying to break you out of negative patterns, or to face unresolved wounding, or from the past, so that you can evolve. Okay, so this Pluto is about soul evolution, but it means that we have to face all the darkness first and what's keeping us stuck. So when that's retrograde, it's going to bring you, it's going to be an internal job. So it's not so much the outside showing you that where things are off. It's going to actually, where you're going to get feelings yourself, or you're going to be shown within yourself where you're not being truthful, or where you're hanging on out of fear, where you need to let go of things, where things are not in truth, basically. So that's going to be a retrograde for the next 5 months. So had Uranus go into Gemini a couple of weeks ago, and Gemini is a sign of connection. So you might have found that connections were severing. Uranus, sudden change, and revelation, and liberation. So in Gemini, you might have found that connections were being severed very quickly. That will mean Uranus again is like Pluto, is trying to liberate you. It's trying to get you with your aligned with your higher path, right? So you might have been shown very clearly where you had to walk away from connections. But that's also, that energy still happening now with this new moon. So I'll go into talking about the new moon now in more detail. So this new moon is in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus rules relationships. So this is going to be a big theme for around this time. You would have been probably seeing the past week, being made aware or have realizations about connections or relationships or romantic friendships, whatever it may be, that are not actually, maybe that you've outgrown, or are no longer, no longer align with who you are. So you're going to get strong realizations, especially Algol in the picture there. That's going to really that's a shadow work star as well. So it's going to be very harsh and showing you what's not, or who's not for you, and also yourself in terms of other people, where you're dimming to fit in, all that kind of stuff, or where you're being manipulative or over controlling in your relationships, or where you're not acting in the best faith or whatever. But also it would also influence you. It could influence. It's also it's about violence and chaos as well. So, but also creative expression. So like, it'll help you do shadow work, and it'll help you with your creative work as well. But the flip side is it can bring violence on a world stage. Don't be surprised if something really violent happens in these few days. So it's been like linked to assassinations and all of that kind of stuff, especially I think with Trump's so-called attempted assassination. Algol was in the mix at that time. So yeah, so it's a very dark energy, but more try to use this to, so I don't want to freak you out, but try, like basically it's just going to bring up stuff that you need to look at, that may be quite dark or maybe, unpleasant. Okay. So how I would work this new moon in terms of setting intentions, Taurus is all about long term. It's stability, it's practical, it's slow moving, and yeah, it's like it loves long term goals, and things that are kind of seated under a Taurus new moon tend to have, are long standing. They tend to have longevity, but Taurus, like I said, loves stability and loves stable foundations. So whatever you're trying to manifest for the long term, you need to kind of be very honest in this energy, and ask yourself, have I started putting down stable foundation? So if it's like a long term committed relationship, for example, ask yourself, what in me is preventing that from coming in, or preventing me from meeting someone that's going to help me create stable foundations within this relationship, so that we have potential for long-term success together. Also, or maybe it's your physical body, because Taurus rules the body as well. It rules self-worth, it rules finances. This is a great moon for setting intentions for all of them. But if you're wanting to manifest these things, like your physical body, if you're like overweight, you're unhealthy, you want to be asking yourself with this, what's in me is preventing me from losing weight? Like, what belief systems am I carrying that are stopping me from losing weight? It's more that, because what you're doing is you're setting, you're creating stable foundations by actually getting to the root of the problem here, and that Taurus will reward you more with coming from that angle. So that's how I would work my intentions. More about, okay, I want to lose weight, or I want to get healthy. Now, what is in me right now that is not creating that foundation at the moment, that stable foundation? And what do I need to change? And then use this energy to help you, let go of that, so that you can bring that in. So you're working with both, setting the intention, but also shadow work with, why isn't that, what part of me is preventing that from already, those foundations from already being created. Okay, those stable foundations. So Taurus, this Taurus new moon is, like I said, it's not gonna, it's a shadow work new moon. So you're gonna be feeling you're going to be feeling very ungrounded. So again, so you want to be doing something where you're grounding yourself. I would do loads of meditation this week. I would be eating really well. Like, I've actually been fasting the past few days, and the reason why I say that is because we're coming also into a Mercury I think it's on Sunday, is going to be going into Gemini, and it's going to be exactly conjunct Uranus. Mercury and Uranus, that's like, basically Uranus will bring in that higher wisdom. It will give you like downloads, and it will give you inspiration to do the right thing that's going to be best for you. Or like, you'll get like you'll get thoughts that may come in that will be actually giving you information on the best path forward. But if you're all scattered, which you may be very likely, because this energy is really disorientating that we're in now, it's very heavy and dark kind of energy, and especially if you've been going through letting relationships go or friendships go, you're going to be very all over the place. If you're not grounded enough, you're not going to know which thoughts are for like our intuition or for your highest good, and which are not, right? Which are just illusion. So I would say loads of grounding this weekend. Eat really well, whole foods, get out in nature. New moon in Taurus is going to love, and Taurus loves nature. So that's how to work with this new moon. I hope that helps. And again, it's an opportunity to heal the past, let go of what's no longer serving you. But look after yourselves, and I'll chat to you soon.